Yay, a celebration. Feel the excitement and the festivities. Where did they get like Christmas light technology from anyway? Alright, we've seen it. Alrighty. Oh, shit. Where'd you come from? What? It's crazy. The other way, Luca. How'd you get here so fast? Okay, so there we have it. That was Chrono Trigger. Oh, headphones fell off. But I don't need to hear this anyway. Chrono Trigger is, this is the only ending that I've seen, and I kind of hope that this is kind of the worst ending, because I know that there are multiple endings to this, depending on what actions you took during the game and all that kind of stuff, because you did have options and all that kind of stuff. Though this does seem kind of goofy, that they're flying away together on a bunch of balloons. I mean, I guess if they were strong enough to hold up a large bell, then I guess it could pick them up too, but it seems weird anyhow. Now, this was a game, I had mentioned this long ago, but this was a game that I had thought that I had played before when I was a kid. Somewhere in my mind, I thought I had played the game Chrono Trigger. I didn't think I had beaten it or anything, but I thought I had played the game. It turns out that I didn't, and I'm not even sure where I got that thought from, because I had an image of something in my mind, but I don't know what that was, but it wasn't Chrono Trigger. So, it was a game that I didn't really put any effort into trying to play up until I did this LP. And I basically played through this blind with the help of like a no-spoiler walkthrough, so I didn't get lost like an idiot and just wander around. So, my opinions on this are a little bit different than a lot of people who may have played this game back in the mid-90s when it was released. I would say that this game is definitely it's definitely worthy of the kind of reverence that people have for it. But that's largely because of a sort of nostalgic factor people have for it. It was a game that, in its day, did a lot of things that you really didn't see, especially coming out of the Japanese RPGs, where you make choices and they affect the outcome. Also, the sort of not random battle encounter kind of thing was also something that was fairly new. Not too many games had done that at that point, as well as like other stuff like that. The time travel thing was also kind of cool and different, and all these kind of things combined together to give people this interpretation of Chrono Trigger as being this groundbreaking, incredible game. Now, unfortunately, I am 20 years perhaps removed from the point in which this game was released, and that everybody had gone and played through it the first time and got their initial opinions and all that kind of stuff. So my perspective, maybe not quite as golden as everybody else's would be. I'm looking at this as from the perspective of a person who played this game in 2015, not a person who played this game in 1994 or 5 or whatever the hell it was. I say, it is a fun game. It's not a bad game. I'm not going to sit here and talk smack on it. Say, the nostalgia factor has a strong effect on people's opinions. And I know I happen to be a victim to that same thing when it comes to other games. Like for example, when I played Final Fantasy VII, I fully get that a person jumping into that game now is not going to be wowed by it in the way that everybody was back in 1997 or 6 or whenever the hell that came out. Because we're in a modern day and what games have changed with the advanced, and a lot of the things that we've seen implemented in Chrono Trigger have essentially changed for the better. But I do like I do say that I did enjoy playing this game, and I do like the story as simplistic as it was, because it did add some rather subtle hints, some biblical references, and all this other kind of stuff that give it a little bit more complexity and give it something that, like, hey, what's going on? And for a little while, I was genuinely confused by the clever little way that they had of having the history of this world that Chrono Trigger takes place in not really make any sense until pretty late in the game, and you realize that Queen Zeal had gone and effectively changed the past and had somehow just placed everything off kilter enough to make all of history not really make any damn sense. And it all buttoned that stuff up reasonably well. There are a couple of weird little plot holes, like the whole broken timeline concept of how we went to 1999 and defeated Lavos, but somehow Lavos was also summoned back in what, it wasn't the Dark Ages, it was in the Stone Age or whatever the hell it was. Yeah, it was in the Dark Ages. And all that kind of stuff. That doesn't really make any sense. Maybe I'm just missing something there. But for the most part, it did manage to button itself up pretty nicely. I know there was a sequel called Chrono Cross for the Sony PlayStation. And I'm considering playing that, but I'm not going to make any promises whether I'd make a video out of it or not. Anyway, we're staring at the globe at the end. If you like what I've done here with this game, feel free to check out any number of my growing rather large back catalog of Let's Play videos for various games, everything from the Final Fantasy series to Breath of Fire. I did Mass Effect games. Going to do, right after this episode, I'm going to start the game Dragon Age Origins, so diversifying that up a little bit. So, if you like this, check out the other stuff. Thank you for watching, though, and goodbye.